There comes a moment in a woman's life that few people talk about openly. A moment when she looks around and realizes she is more alone than she ever expected to be. Not because she pushed people away, not because she failed, not because she didn't try hard enough, but because life quietly stripped the room. The messages slowed down, the invitations stopped. The relationships that once felt permanent began to feel distant. And suddenly, the noise that once filled her days faded into silence. And in that silence, questions rise. Why does this feel so heavy? Why does it feel like everyone else has someone but me? Why would God allow this kind of loneliness if He loves me? If that is where you are right now, let me say this gently and clearly. What you are experiencing is not emotional failure. It is not rejection. It is not proof that something is wrong with you. It is spiritual training. Loneliness in God's hands is not a punishment. It is a shaping ground. And today, we are going to talk about why God allows loneliness to shape powerful women, not to weaken them, but to prepare them for a depth of strength, discernment, and authority they could not gain any other way. Stay with me. This message is not meant to rush you. It is meant to meet you where you are. There are seasons when God allows a woman's life to grow quieter than she expected. Not abruptly, not dramatically, just gradually. One relationship fades, then another, until one day she realizes the room is nearly empty. And this is usually where fear speaks first. Fear says, "You've been left behind." Fear says, "You're too much or not enough." Fear says, "If God loved you, you wouldn't be this alone." But fear is not the voice of truth. Because throughout Scripture, whenever God prepares someone for depth, He first creates space. Before Moses led a nation, he lived alone in the wilderness. Before David ruled a kingdom, he was hidden in fields with sheep. Before Jesus began his ministry, the Spirit led him into solitude. God often empties the room not to isolate a woman, but to initiate her. The absence of people is not always abandonment. Sometimes it is an invitation to step into a sacred space where distractions fall away and clarity begins. Loneliness, in this sense, is not God stepping back. It is God stepping closer, quietly. A loud life can hide a quiet wound. When voices surround us, opinions, expectations, demands, it becomes easy to live from reaction instead of truth. So sometimes, God lowers the volume. Not because He wants a woman to suffer, but because He wants her to hear. Loneliness creates silence, and silence exposes what noise has been covering. In silence, old lies surface. I am only valuable when I'm needed. I disappear when I'm alone. If I were more lovable, I wouldn't be here. These lies don't usually break us when life is full. They break us when life grows quiet. And this is where the training begins. Because God does not heal what remains hidden. He heals what is brought into the light. In loneliness, a woman begins to notice what she used to outrun. The fear of being unseen, the habit of overgiving, the need for validation. This confrontation is uncomfortable, but it is holy. Because silence doesn't just reveal pain, it reveals truth. And truth is the foundation of power. Many women are raised to measure their worth by response, by being chosen, by being included, by being needed. But God does not build powerful women on applause. He builds them on conviction. Loneliness removes the mirrors of affirmation. No one is clapping, no one is confirming, no one is reassuring. And at first, this feels unbearable. But slowly, something shifts. She stops asking, "Do they see me?" and begins asking, "Who does God say I am?" This is where identity begins to root itself. Not in roles, not in relationships, not in productivity, but in sonship, in belonging, in being known by God alone. A woman who learns to stand without applause becomes unshakable, because when approval no longer feeds her, rejection can no longer starve her. Loneliness trains her to live from truth, not reaction. Loneliness hurts. Scripture never denies that. But pain is not the enemy, despair is. And God never allows pain without purpose. When a woman sits with loneliness long enough, it begins to teach her. It teaches her what she tolerated to avoid being alone. It teaches her what she ignored to stay connected. It teaches her where she compromised herself for belonging. Pain exposes patterns, and once patterns are exposed, they can be broken. Hannah wept in isolation. Hagar cried in the wilderness. Naomi grieved in emptiness. But none of their pain was wasted. Their tears became altars. Loneliness turns pain into prayer, not polished prayers, not performative prayers, but honest ones. And honesty is where transformation begins. When a woman is no longer defined by who surrounds her, God begins to define her by who she is. This is sacred work. Loneliness strips labels. Not someone's partner, not someone's helper, not someone's backup plan, just a woman and her God. And in that space, God speaks differently. He doesn't rush. He doesn't compete. He doesn't shout. He reminds. He reminds her she is chosen, that she is seen, that she is held. Identity becomes internal instead of borrowed. And this is what makes her powerful, because she no longer needs to disappear to belong. She belongs because she exists. There is a kind of faith that can only be built alone, not borrowed faith, not crowd faith, but rooted faith. Faith that survives unanswered prayers. Faith that trusts in silence. Faith that remains steady without reassurance. Loneliness forces faith to grow roots, and roots grow underground, unseen, uncelebrated, but essential. A woman shaped by solitude does not panic when people leave. She has already learned how to stand with God alone. Her faith does not depend on outcomes. It rests in relationship. And that faith is dangerous, not to her, but to fear. Loneliness is not a dead end. It is a forge, a place where weakness is burned away and strength is formed. God allows loneliness to shape powerful women because power requires depth, and depth is grown in quiet places. When this season ends, and it will, she will not emerge desperate. She will emerge discerning. She will not chase connection. She will choose alignment. She will not fear being alone. She will know who walks with her even in silence. And that woman cannot be controlled by fear, rushed by pressure, or shaken by absence. She has been trained. So if you are lonely right now, hear this clearly. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. You are not behind. You are becoming. And when this season releases you, you will carry a strength that only solitude could have given you. Stay still, stay open, stay faithful. God is doing something powerful quietly.